like a 5-star restaurant. And he made the kafta into a gyro. And he tell me, that's on me. And he wouldn't let me pay for it. And I go make sure he'll get so much business from that gesture, because his food good. And I can't endorse anything unless I could guarantee you that I like it, would eat it, or use it, would wear it. The people who do the business affiliates program for the Citizens Union, one of the things they tell people is you have access to Phillip Alexander and he could give you an endorsement. But they tell them the disclaimer, and this is the disclaimer. If I don't like it, I can't lie. I'm not going to sell. I don't care what you pay me. I'm not selling something that I don't believe in. But this fella, Ali, with his kebab station, is right after Lewis Street. It's between Lewis and Alfredo Street. It's before Carlos Street traffic light, before all them other fake gyro. This is opposite Caesar's, Little Caesar's Pizza. You'll see a big sign mark kebab station. His number is 753-3333. Get a man all your business. I tell you, the chicken, I buy chicken, lamb, beef, and kafta. The chicken this man grilled for me, cooked to perfection. But you see the little caramelized charred bits on the outside? When that touch the garlic, you have to experience that to understand why Middle Eastern Mediterranean food is one of the most expensive and sought after foods in the world. Any food that is richly seasoned with expensive seasonings and is time consuming to cook, you have to marinate that meat and then cook it over coals. I don't know if you know this, but when you're cooking on coals, you have to know what you're doing, or you'll burn the meat and the inside will be raw. That's why people who do barbecue in Trinidad just use these charbroilers that they buy from the restaurant companies. That is a gas burner heating lava rocks, but it's not real barbecue. The origins of barbecue, as you know, they should dig a hole in the ground, put the meat in the ground, cover it with stones, and cover the stones with banana leaves, and then cover it with dirt, and then light a fire and let it burn. But the slow cook it. But this man food, he going places. This fella Ali with kebab station, he going places. I'm telling you. And before he get too expensive, because they go put him in a big restaurant just now. The place, boy, kebab station. The standard of what street food should be. Yeah, I wanted to give him that. Right up October 29 now. But go there and tell him I sent all you. Tell him I vex, he wouldn't let me pay for my kafta gyro, and I send all there to game business. And he will give you a special. He's a good fellow. I know meet the man. I now meet this Arab good fellow, decent human being. I would like to see him prosper. I would like to know that tomorrow night, there are no room on that pavement by kebab station. You can go there now. He open now, I'm telling you. You don't know what you're missing. You didn't know. I say, I know. Because my grandmother, Mama, we used to call her Mama, Fadwa Alexander, she was Azar. She used to make the kebab on the coal pot outside. Old and tired, and she there fanning that thing with that piece of cardboard. Eh? But when you taste that meat, when you bite into it, the levels of flavor that you get is unbelievable. This man doing that. This man is the only person in my 55 long years since my grandmother. They have no Arabic restaurant in this country. Not one Middle Eastern restaurant in this country that making food with the levels and the depths of flavor. I tell you, go and buy if you eat meat, go and buy the beef kebab. You could message me and tell me the experience that you had. Is the sexy piece of meat this man cooking for you. You're coming out of there saying, yes, brother. Yes. Besides the man making your pine nuts and your harrick rice. Who doing that now? Them thing expensive. The man giving you bang for your buck, value for your money. Go and see him. And as I say, you know, I meet the owner of Hot Subs. We used to go to the same barber shop in Westmore. And they was laughing and joking about how much people go on Hot Subs since I do that video and endorse it. And I like to know that I am an influencer, and I like to know that I could still do it for free. That my influence is to help people that deserve it. This fella, Kebab Station, oh, he gonna see me. His number, that restaurant number on speed dial. I want, you know what you wanna do? You see, I'm telling you this, when you call yourself a foodie, it's not about the amount of food you eat. It's about knowing how to blend, how to add. It's knowing. It's not about quantity. I tell you all, Adams in Maraval sell a bread called a boule, and I don't know B-O-U-L-E. I don't know anybody else in the country that sells this, but I don't know what flour he uses. But the elasticity in the flour, the strands are so big that when you toast it and you put butter, it makes little pockets of butter in the bread. And wow! Obviously, this is not for people who have gluten allergies, because this had to be high in gluten. Because gluten is the elasticity in dough and flour. But you get, this is my next step. I go in tomorrow to get a fresh, straight out of the oven. The girls in Adams know when I come in the morning, if it now come out of the oven, I wait until they slice it. I wait in, slice mine for me. I want that bread, and I want this man beef kebabs. And I gonna make fresh parsley, garlic oil, my own tomatoes and cucumber crisp, some green olives. I gonna make my own version of a sandwich. And I'm telling you, you will bless me for giving you that. I didn't know. Nobody ever tell me the man food tastes so good. Nobody ever tell me the man food tastes so good. Yeah? Only remember this, right? Don't fight with trolls on the thread. If anybody come on the thread to talk nonsense, you know by the time the video done, they will get blocked and no longer they can no longer be allowed, right? So ignore them. Anyway, let me go forward. 29th of October. Somebody saying gyro is lamb mixed with beef. You can have any kind of gyro. Wayne Ram tell me, get this man in Bamboo on the 29th with samples. Wayne, they got about 100,000 people in Bamboo on the 29th. How you going to bring enough samples? But we gotta go down there. I can take the whole crew down there. I think Saturday we having a meeting on the 22nd. Saturday say we have our team meeting. So all those who come into the team meeting, we gonna have it at Grab and Go. And then we'll go by him. And you will see, I will sponsor the first rounds. But depending on the size of the turnout. Alright, 29th of October. Hear me? This is guarantee. This is guarantee. A man sent me, hear this fella tonight, yeah? I screenshot it and I share it with everybody. A man buff me. What was his name? Did I share it with everybody yet? Hear what this man tell me. You ain't gonna believe this. Phillip, Edward Alexander, you are on games. I have been asking you to investigate a school over the past 3 months. Look at the result. A school transport driver was beaten by students of the same school I asked you to investigate. This person's name is Paul Ramlogan. Paul, first of all, and I want to tell you, I appreciate you expecting so much more from me than those who are in office. But you need to understand, investigate is a strong word. Investigate suggests lawful authority. That comes with a particular type of office. So for me to go and try to do anything, I would be impersonating officers of the law. I can't do investigations. Brother, to be honest with you, you say you asked me for this for the past 3 months. The reason I screenshot it is because I asked Satish to go on all the pages and see if he find anything from you before. Unless you messaging me with a different name, and I find that people who message me on Facebook, there's bounce up a reply from Facebook. We have an automatic reply that says, because there's so many mailboxes, we tell everybody, WhatsApp us on 682-2110. And we just get a new phone number, 702 Phil. Let me just double check that is the number. 702 PHIL. Yes, that's the assistance number, 702 Phil. So we have that number. But Mr. Man, yeah, what we find is people who message you on Facebook, when they come on WhatsApp, they have to explain to you, well, my real name is, that name is not. So you find people with different names. So I check in through the archives, but to go back 3 months, we get hundreds of messages a day. To go back over the course of 3 months to find Paul Ramlogan, because I've seen nothing about this, and I've taken that personally, because I would respond to you, Paul. I'd tell you. I'd put you on to people that you're going to call. I'd tell you, people will tell you this. I'd tell you, go and make a report in your police station and ask for a copy of the report and a receipt. And then he would have most likely tell me, the police are never taking a report from me, or I get him a report 6 months ago and they ain't taking no action. And I would ask him, do you have the name of the person who took the report? No, I don't study that. You had to get that from him. And do you have the name of the senior officer in the station? No, why I get all that? Because you have to make a next report. You have to go to the police complaints authority and make a report there. You see, the system had to work. We had to get the system to work. And this is the system. This is the system. That you go to the police station and you make a report. You see, if 1.4 million of y'all drown the police complaints authority in complaints about police not doing their jobs, then you will see. You see, you're not getting it. But people like Paul Ramlogan, and I'm willing to bet this, Paul, don't get me wrong, and if I'm wrong, I apologize in advance. But I'm willing to bet you've done nothing. I'm willing to bet you have a problem, and you social media'd me, that you've heard my name and you've heard people say that I could fix things. So you blank the whole system, but generally, this thing I just did with Finbar Ryan Home, you know how long we working on this? You know how long we dealing with the issue of people in Finbar Ryan Home? You know what we've been waiting for? We've been waiting for actions from courts. We've been waiting for evidence because we can't get in. We've been waiting for, and we have a pile of stuff. We have a pile of people who used to work there. This man who talking on all these TV stations, and this morning I have a fellow named Christopher Gill. Now, full disclosure, I know Christopher Gill since I was a teenager. So I could sense the little bit of jealousy because all of we didn't age the same. Phillip's still sexy. Some of them just take that personally. And Christopher Gill holding on, I think, for Stephen Reese on Synergy TV this morning. And Christopher Gill want to talk about the issue that raised. And Christopher Gill want to say that sometimes Phillip is over-exaggerate issues. But I want to tell Christopher Gill something. My role in society is to expose all of it. My role is to expose it. Nobody has done as much as I and my team in the Progressive Empowerment Party have done to expose the wrongdoing in this society, to get to the root of it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about the fact that if we did a commission of inquiry into credit and lending in this country and we cross-referenced it by race, we will understand why so many black people committing crime. And we will understand why so many black people are living in poverty. Because they can't access the same finance my Syrian family could access if they open a bakery to get 10 branch. And I want to know why. And I want to know why Unicom, big massive company Unicom, that did the $500 million renovation in the Red House and the $107 million renovation of President's House, is doing little pavement fixing on Arapita Avenue. Why they got that contract if nobody else raising that? Christopher Gill? Certainly not you. Certainly not you. This morning you rise as high as you're going in society. I'm telling you that. You think that your opinion of me could matter to me. Long after people forget your name and your face and anything that you've said, they will still be talking about all of the issues. Because when Phillip Edward Alexander touched an issue, you know what has hurt PNM people? Andrea Barrett. That candlelight movement. You see, one candle nearly burned the PNM down. Keith Rowley had to run and bring a fake state of emergency. One candle nearly burned the whole PNM down. That one candle that I lit for Andrea Barrett out of anger and frustration, I didn't expect what it would become. But I have a following, Christopher Gill. When I went down to Paria on Carnival weekend, you must be was whining on a bumsy. I was in Paria. We spent long hours in the day and in the night. We fought to try to rescue people. While you was probably drunk, throwing up in somebody's fet, we was down in Paria, mosquito biting we, hungry looking to get something to eat, a cup of coffee, trying to see what we could do to rescue people out of them pipes. And that is why the PNM had to hear this fake bullshit law enforcement manipulating commission of inquiry that can't get off the blocks yet. Because that was to stop people talking. But I have information. People messaging me and asking me for my video footage. Christopher Gill, you know about Andrea Barrett because of me. You see, 500 women dead the same year. But Andrea Barrett got a candle. And because of Andrea, she pulled other people along. Because people wanted to add one flavor from every column. As if it had to matter. We have to get a white girl and a black girl if we lighted a candle for Indian girl. Because we that stupid. We that insipid. And because we that stupid and we that insipid, we will go on our 1 minute of fame on Synergy TV. And instead of holding my two hands up, like when Aaron did it for Moses, when Moses couldn't go no more. But this is why they will hold you down and rape you in your skull, Christopher Gill. This is why your life and everybody you know will be sufferation and pressure. And you will ask yourself, why? It is because it is too easy for people to get a little piece of position. And instead of doing as Bob Marley say, when you're on top, raise others. The Bible say, when you get more, build a longer table, not a taller fence. This is what I do. And I had to go this morning outside the same Finbar Ryan home again and say, I am not trying to go toe-to-toe with the Catholic Church. I'm certainly not trying to go toe-to-toe with the Catholic Church. And I'm not trying to go toe-to-toe with St. Vincent de Paul. But they need to stop bullshitting people. Because as long as there are people suffering from injustice, abuse, and neglect in this country, as long as one person suffering, all of us not free. And you are too stupid to understand that, Christopher Gill. And you waste your parents' education. You ride bicycle for your whole life like you fall off and butt your head. How you could say what you tried to say about me this morning, jackass? The whole world built on activists. It is activists that freed the slaves. It is activists that went against the law and fought to free the slaves. And because of those activists, a black man became president of the United States. You jackass, Christopher Gill. You have no understanding of your role in society. God reached down and blessed you this morning and gave you a bully pulpit. And you know that elders in this country are being abused. And instead of adding your voice, you try to pull mine down. In a country where ministers have been accused of raping and abusing little children in state homes. In a country where we spend money to put the homeless in a parking garage down in town by the cathedral, opposite Riverside Plaza, opposite Besson Street. In a country where the disabled, our disabled people, ask Roland Thunder, he's the head of the disabled community, ask him, Christopher Gill, use your 1 minute and 15 seconds of fame and pull Roland Thunder, blank me, pull Roland Thunder and ask him why for his whole life he and all of the people on wheelchairs just be outside Hilo and True Value selling barbecue ticket, because the mother asses in this country that have power and authority thieving out the money, and little clowns like you trying to get a minute and 15 seconds of fame so some girl will pass and say, all right, take a piece. You jackass Christopher Gill. And you will suck up to people who watch you as a jackass, but will lie to you and tweak your ears. You'll call their name nice. Phillip Alexander, I'm not here to get your approval, brother. I'm not here to get your like. What I am here to do is rescue people. I am here to change how this country runs. And while you may not know it, every single time Rohan Sinanan wake up in the morning and he read pothole, he take in, let me fix that one quick before somebody go and write Phillip will fix it on it. And you have to understand, I am angry with you. I am willing to forgive you. If you are on that station tomorrow, brother, I want an apology. I want an apology for your being stupid. Apologize to your parents. Apologize to the country. Apologize to the elders who being neglected and abused. Elder abuse is a real thing in this country. Ask the Department of Aging. Ask the association responsible for registering all the old homes in this country. Ask them why certain homes refuse to join. And ask them why the Ministry of Social Development have so many things hidden. But I am glad that this one, when they came to me and they begged me to raise this issue, it wasn't on my radar. It wasn't on my radar. But I went and I did it. And I'm glad that it touched a nerve. Because it had to touch a nerve to send Donna Cox scurrying to the parliament the next day to try and debunk it. She said, get my facts. And she said, we are not connected to the Finbar Ryan home at all. She lied. Because I found out today, she, the ministry, sponsoring St. Vincent de Paul, with 2 children inside, 2 elders in there. Don't waste anybody time. Stephen Rees worked hard building that show in the morning on honesty and decency. Don't bring your self-serving bullshit and try to usurp thinking people. People call in on the show this morning and put you in your place. And you need to know your damn place. Until you could stand up for people other than yourselves, other than yourself. Don't put God out your thoughts and talk about people who do. For 30 years, I have been an activist in this country. I am responsible for disabled parking. I am responsible for the subventions that the orphans get. I am responsible for the Diego Martin bypass at 4 Roads. I played a large part in forcing there to be a children's bill and a children's authority. I played a large part in the Dangerous Dogs Act that stopped these gangbangers from breeding dangerous pit bull and adding them to the list of weapons terrorizing the people in this country. Since that act, none of the 7 and 8 and 10 people that just are dead a year dead and now. And while the act is not perfect and could be better, it was better than nothing. And we've done a lot. We've fed the homeless. I have a 28, going to be 20, I have a 29-year-old son who his entire life, his every Christmas was wake up, open his presents, go by Granny Pat, eat some Christmas breakfast by Granny Pat, and then head downtown to feed the homeless. Christopher Gill, you sick little child. What do you do on your Christmas, son? My son grew up feeding people on Christmas Day, December 25th, covered in their own feces and filth. My son at 9 years old had to understand what maggots eating somebody is. So don't ever put God out your thoughts and come at activists, brother. I didn't come into politics because I want your blessing or I want your vote. I came into politics to break this playhouse. I came into politics to challenge the criminality that made this country so obscene. I came into politics to fix Trinidad and Tobago. And I am telling you, if as an activist I could have gotten it done in this disgusting, corrupt little country, I'd have never come into politics at all. Because they have nothing good and decent about things like politics and other high-level big voices in this country. The media in Trinidad and Tobago is more corrupt than cancer. The media. Right now, there are things going on in this country that are affecting you and your family. And you don't even know. You don't even know. But that's what they did. That's what Massa did. That's what the whole concept was, to make you cut your own throat and happy fit. Massa cutting it right. Massa doing it good. Tell me now, how long am I supposed to take to die, Massa? Jackass. Step out of line. Stay in your lane, son. Never hear about you doing anything for anybody other than yourself. I saw this morning they pay you to go on Synergy. $200? $300? How much you get? Moving on. October 29th. The reason we're calling for 100,000 people to stand up in Bamboo. We don't want you to pelt nothing. We don't want you to cuss nobody. You don't have to sing, you don't have to shout, you don't have to cry. You don't have to tear your clothes, you don't have to march in circles. You don't have to do nothing but come and stand with Phillip Alexander. I'll tell you why. Standing with me gives my voice your voice. My voice multiplied 100,000 times will put water in everybody's pipe. I guarantee you that. My voice multiply 100,000 times will make all that dyed hair on Rohan Sinanan's head rotten and fall off as he take night and make day to try and fix the roads in this country like the stunting jackass was done by Gandhi village today. Quietly doing everything that I told him to do to save lives and pretending that he and the PNM give a shit or that he, that grocery packer, is in any way qualified for the job that he has. So today, you put down rumble strips, brother. And the first time I told Trinidad and Tobago about rumble strips, people went and Google it. And I told you about that. And I want to say that to Trinidad and Tobago. That's who we need to be. 100,000 of us. Do not think that accepting the mediocrity, accepting the abuse is somehow putting you closer to God. Jesus Christ went in the temple and turned over the tables. Jesus Christ went in the temple and threw the moneylenders out. He said, they say what this for? And if you have believed that he did it genteelly, then you misunderstood the passage. Jesus Christ cursed a tree that it didn't have figs when he wanted a fig. And he told it, you will never bear again. The tree never bear again. Everybody, it's time to stand up. You see what's going on right now with Nelson Gate? That is so obscene. That is so disgusting. It's rotten to the core. If nothing ever was going to show you how broken this country is, that our highest levels of our justice system, biggest office holders, could engage in acts so egregious, so disturbing. You had to be a Hollywood writer to come up with a plot where an entire cabinet would try to use, listen, the PNM and the UNC both paid taxpayer dollars to that same Vincent Nelson to tell us, to give us an opinion on a case. And he gave everybody the opinion that they wanted. UNC wanted to go after somebody, go after them. PNM wanted to discontinue it, discontinue it. Once the money come in, that is the man that you were trusting as your witness. That is the man that you were paying. That is the bride that you bought. That. The piper that willing to dance and play to anybody's tune. That. We are not going to fix this country playing any mini more with PNM and UNC. We are not. And you know that. And all that you are tonight, all that you are, is you've escaped the consequences of escalating that commitment to the series of bad decisions and unfortunate events that has befallen this country since August 31st, 1962. When they lowered that Union Jack and raised the red, white, and black, they handed us over to demons, worse than the Queen. Eric Williams and the PNM became this country's worst nightmare. Black people had to march against a black government. Black people in this country in 1970 marched against Balizé House. There was mutiny and gunplay and war in Trinidad and Tobago because Eric Williams was selling black people into bondage. Massa Day done. Massa Day had only just begun. Look at our country. Explain it, because you may not feel that you have to add your voice, but the consequences of what you ignore. You all ever watch Spider-Man? When Spider-Man say, well, they're not paying me to stop that fella, so I ain't doing it, and that man shoot his uncle, and that they was trying to make a point that to those who much is given, much is expected. Great power comes with responsibility. Your great power is this democracy. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have people appointed to high office, elected by nobody, waging massive power. We have to fix all of that. And you we have to fix all of that. And you we have to fix all of that. And you cannot work so. It has to be all of us taking responsibility for this country. And again, the internet gets interfered with when I'm doing a live video. So we have 3 internet providers. Believe it or not. We in the Progressive Empowerment Party pay for 3 different internet suppliers so that when one interrupts during a live video, you could switch to another. Anywho, 100,000 of us standing strong will send a message to the government the way the candlelight movement sent a message to the government and panic them. It panicked them. They had Faris Al-Rawi talking so much shit. One day Faris saying, crocodile tears, that could save anybody. And nobody took Faris on. And the next day, they found somebody else who died, so he went and light a candle for them. So I asked him, I said, Faris Al-Rawi, you are the Attorney General. I am lighting candles against you. I am lighting candles against your incompetence. This candle is a symbol of the failure of you and your government to protect Andrea Barrett. If you lighting a candle, who you lighting it against? It had to be you. You light a candle against yourself. I don't have the power of office Paul Ram Logan thinks I do. Because my voice is strong. I have to tell people today, stop being afraid of your government and stop being afraid of victimization. We are all called to stand. And some of us will have to put up with the stress. But stand. Because there is no benefit to staying silent and thinking small. If you have something to add to the conversation, add it now. And I want to tell you, if more of you grew some balls and stood up and spoke out, stood up for issues, stood up for other people, if more and more of you stood against abuse, if people had come out on the morning that I was doing that video against the $500 million bullshit overpass to West Mall, if Diego Martin had emptied itself out into the street, they'd have paused it. They'd have paused it right then. But we're too blasted lazy and irresponsible with our democracy. And I'm not going to lie to you like the other wannabe politicians going and bullshit you. Dance, literally dance for you. Rub your head and whisper sweet nothings. But that's all you're going to get if you put them in office. The Progressive Empowerment Party and Phillip Edward Alexander, make no mistake, we're not in this for shits and giggles. We're in this for a better country. And if that is what you want, come out on the 29th of October. Bamboo number 1, Satish is, I think Satish going to put the information. Here it is. This man know what he talking about. This fella know what he talking about. Check it out. Sweet songs of Chocolate Allen, produced by Kurt Allen. Yep, the man himself. He was the man responsible for that song. And his daughter. Hear me? Satish Ramsaran has asked me to ask those of you who have maxi taxis and would like to assist in shuttle service for the 29th of October event, please call 702-PHIL, P-H-I-L, 702-PHIL, or 719-2888, or 796-8172, or 769-4590. Anybody wants to offer transport or help with transport for people coming from the different places in the country, please reach out to 702-PHIL, 719-2888, 796-8172, or 769-4590. If you would like to contribute to the event, we have to pay for banners, we have to pay for stage, sound system, thousands of dollars. If you would like to help and help offset costs, please reach out to Sahai De Silva 374-8747. That's 374-8747. Felicia Holder at 769-4590. We need your financial assistance to make this happen. We have no deep pocket financiers. We have nobody betting the treasure chest of money. We are not selling your future to political speculators and invested string pullers. We want to build a political movement on the power of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And you can help with $100 and you can help with $100,000. Elections cost money. Politics costs money, and we need your help, we need your assistance. And I can guarantee you this, from the moment it was formed on January 18, 2017 to now, the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only party that can account for every single dollar donation we've ever received, including, but not limited to, things like barrels sent by the overseas teams of Canada, led by Anthony Sinanan, and the United States, led by Denise Xavier. We can account for every line item because that's just the way we do it. We've expected the Jericho Project. When we formed the Jericho Project, I formed the Jericho Project with others 28 years ago. My son was 1. And the 2 rules that I put in place then has served me well because I know how nasty political opponents can be. The Jericho Project was never allowed to have a bank account. I made that a rule so that nobody could ever say that they pass and, because I remember what they do, Clive Panton, pass and put money in his account and say that he's doing business with people and things. Nobody could ever say that Phillip Alexander, the Jericho Project, was in any kind of kakada with anybody. And the next thing, from the Jericho Project to now, the Progressive Empowerment Party, Citizens Union, you can't give me money. You can't hand me money. If you hand me money, I either take in you or the money straight to Felicia Holder. I remember being up in the park in Palmis, and we were lighting candles in South, and people were trying to make donations, and I was walking them around the park to find Felicia and say, make your donation here. And I do that because I know how trustworthy I am. But I do that because I will never want anybody to be able to say that they give me money and that it never reached the party. Like what do they say about everybody else? Or that they invest in me. I am not yours to invest in. The Progressive Empowerment Party is a political vehicle built on fixing this country for everybody, not for this chosen, select, deep-pocketed few. No 1%, no contract mafia, no friend and no financier. Nobody gets to tell me. We have a couple people. I remember once a woman gave us a donation and insisted that we take certain action on her behalf. And we gladly brought her back to the office and refunded her her money. And she took umbrage, but I wanted her and everybody else that she could speak to understand that the Progressive Empowerment Party is living the difference we say that we need in our politics. If you want a better country, you're going to have to vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. Look around you. They have political frogs that show up just when it sounds like an election coming. They're raising their hand. Yeah, we too. We running too. But they ain't doing nothing for nobody. The Progressive Empowerment Party's team, because it's not just me. We have shadow MPs walking on the ground. We have David Welch, Youth Armchair. We have Precious Cruikshank, Women's Armchair. Them working day and night, distributing hampers, helping people. They're providing more rescue in this country than the rescue services of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to really applaud David Welch and Precious Cruikshank for the work that they do. And David Welch is a bright, bright political star. And I'm happy to have him on board with us. It's funny how things work. Eh? God sets things up for it to work the right way. My mother say, God is right straight even on crooked lines. And I like that. I like that. I want you to believe me when I tell you, the only purpose for being in politics is to help other people. If you're not driven to serve others, get out. If you only serve, if your only role in politics is to feather your own nest and enrich yourself, get out. Get out of it. Politics is of the people, by the people, for the people. Our job is to make sure that the poor black people that could get a bank loan to buy a carnival costume, or they could get a bank loan to buy a car, they can't get a bank loan to invest in their business. I find it funny that we could regulate all kind of malfeasance and corruption in this country, but the PH taxi drivers who are providing an essential service in this country that just need regularizing so the criminal element could come out of it. And I want to tell you one of the things that need regularizing. You see all them people who have a record for 2 sticker marijuana? Come on. If Biden understands that we need to purge those people's records and give them back their lives and their names, Trinidad should know. Okay? Remove those charges from people's names. If you're decriminalizing marijuana, go back in time 20 years. Okay? And if you're serious about decriminalizing marijuana, the people that are in jail for marijuana, let them out. And if you're serious about decriminalizing marijuana, tell the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Magistrates Court, any matters that have to do with marijuana, dismiss them. Dismiss them. Cancel them. End them. And the certificate of character that people need. What is going on with the printer? I would like to sponsor the printer. I understand it is a printer in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service that is preventing people getting their certificate of character so they can go on with their lives. Come on! Are we this broken as a country that one of them big companies can sponsor a printer for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, so their workers, when they send for workers to get a certificate of character, can that come from that same printer? Sponsor them some ink so that people could get their police certificate of character. Now, the police certificate of character is a holdover from Massa days when everybody was guilty until proven innocent. A progressive government will rubbish the need for a police certificate of character. And if you have a record, it will be accessible. But you don't have to tell nobody that you're innocent. It should be assumed. Yeah? That's a whole other nonsense. Like the law that you have to get permission to march. That, a progressive government will repeal that nonsense. That holdover from Carl Hudson Phillip's nonsense Public Order Act. That all that have to be thrown in the dustbin. We need a better country. We need a civilized, first world developed country where everybody have a chance to become something. And those little fellas trying to make a life, to build a business, because everybody starts with something. Amazon, Jeff Bezos is, well, he was the richest man in the world, but he's still in the top 5. He started Amazon on his dining room table with a 486 computer. If you don't know what's a 486 computer, go and research it. It's practical. You can't run a modern day game on it. That's what started Amazon.com. Everybody starts somewhere. KFC was selling chicken in gas station. Frying chicken and selling to people while they're filling up the tank. It's now the #1 franchise in the world. It passed McDonald's. Understand what I'm telling you about? A man named Dave Thomas. He get fired twice and create 2 of the biggest brands. KFC, Dave Thomas is the man responsible. The man who built Wendy's, he is the man responsible for KFC. The same way, you know, Ray Kroc took McDonald's from the McDonald brothers. Anyway, I don't want to go on that part too much. But I'm just saying that we could empower these fellas who driving their little PH car and working hard. You know how hard these fellas is work? There are plenty of people, when you want to make a money, you spend out 30,000 or 40,000 on one of them little crappy second-hand cars, and they give it to people to drive. And the man have to drive that car. And he have to drive that car whole day and bring back $300 for you and a full tank of gas. And anything damaged on the car, he's responsible for. And it's your car. So before he see $1, he had to make your $300 and the money to fill the tank of gas. You know how hard them fellas is work? We need to regularize that PH industry, and because it is critical to our transportation. And the only reason that it can't get regularized yet is because there's only little black boys trading at that level. If in any way anybody named Harad or Abud or Sabga or Chin or Sinanan could have get into the PH taxi business and make a money, regularize already. Our website. And that's the reality. We have to fix this country for all the people. The genesis of crime is where we have to uproot it. Stop looking to lock up and lock down and shoot and kill. All of that shit have to done. We need to be a country where crime is handled at the stage before it is even conceived, at the conception. That's the kind of thinking you need in a government. You don't need Bonnie and Clyde. You need thinking people in parliament, identifying the people, and in cabinet and government, identifying the root causes of crime. And 99% of the crime in this country is poverty that allows these people to be grist for the narco-trafficking mill and the people who use them to do their dirty work. 99% is poverty, crime caused by poverty. Trust me when I tell that. 1% is waywardness. And then you could do what you want with it. Get them some help, psychological, deep counseling. But we need a better country. And all of the things that come around and bite us in our ass, we could fix it before they become biters. Let me do it now. Let me do a better country now. It's possible. Yeah? The 29th of October, come out in your numbers, mark your calendar. I don't say this, For me at least, after the 29th, I will realize my voice is unnecessary. There are other people, there are other parties. I see other parties who were dormant surfacing, no problem. I will realize that my voice is not, I'm not Indian enough, I'm not African enough, I don't have the right last name, whatever, or too half Syrian looking, whatever. But I will accept, because I don't want to waste another day of my life chasing a solution that requires other people to be equally motivated to chase. And if they're not, what's the point? Because I can't do it by myself, and I'll have to admit, this is not for me. And they will have a lot of other people. The truth of the matter is, what I want to offer Trinidad and Tobago have to want. And what I want is a developed country. 21policies.com. Just visit it. www.21policies.com. We are the only party whose manifesto could have fit on a pamphlet and change the entire way politics is done in this country. All of them go into that pamphlet and teeth in them ideas. So Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it sufficiently. I love that. Trinidad and Tobago could be a better country. For red, white, black, green, and every shade in between. There should be no racism. There should be no segregation. There should be nothing that divides us from each other. There should be only a country where every creed and race could actually find an equal place. We live in Eden. This is paradise. We are everything the world wanted to be. Everybody in America, everybody in Canada want to be living in a Trinidad that works. You can imagine this paradise operated as a first world country. You can imagine what living here could be. Close your eyes and dream. On the 29th of October, come and stand with me and we will fix it. Long before we are in office, we will fix all of it. Trust me on that.
Your little child lady start to swear. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. The way it all ends up, I could tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly keep growling. But it's way very often slips the milk in a coffee. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is awake and you're keeping. So you pray to win the lotto. Come to hear them voice. What you doing? I hear you. They still crying. Yeah, yeah. Crying. Yeah, crying. 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 Yeah, yeah. With tested private soldier on revolution day collections war. And don't you hear a tragic story with a journalist story? No wonder if the world is gone. Since the day they're gone, some call them rebels without a cause. These social victims of unjust laws. Yet they christen the heroes, renegades, desperados, forever knocking on heaven's door. Heaven, steel and music shatters the silence. I'm on it to conquer the violence. Big men run when cops approach, fighting for scraps with the cockroach. The young turks, they're tough protected. Almost every young girl expected. So tomorrow, let it all work. Let the emerald shine. So crying. Crying, 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 yeah, crying, crying, yeah. Social amenities don't heaven know. Opportunities, well, them always close. Can't get what once in white collar. If I can't stretch me dollar, later for me crack or smoke me pipe. Some just out the death from pride. Life does rape, dignity and pride. Till there's only bitterness left inside. And every day is a hustle. Arguments are settled with muscle. Till you're 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide. Watch. Children, should life keep on drifting? Something they're smoking or sniffing. Or maybe they're trying to forget. It's life of misery and regret. No one to come to the rescue except cable tongue and bushu. So they boom boxes the Lego. The crowd was in it, so they're crying. They're still crying. They're crying and they're crying. Crying and they're crying. Yeah, yeah. Crying. 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 Yeah, yeah. What's this on the ghetto? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago. I see all the water going on the bed and sleep. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on this page. We will do the test to see what the notifications was like. I waited for the report from Satish and the team. This Thursday, Rub Shop Talk, I don't think Stefan will be there. If we have the show, we may or may not have it. I want to talk to Stefan and find out if he's okay with us having it. But we may take the decision to not have it out of respect for his dad, because we did the same, although mine was because the Thursday was the funeral. I'll ask Stefan how he feels about that, because the team, the work gotta continue. The reality of our situation is Trinidad is in a really, really bad place, and all of us need to stand up and be counted. Don't make a mockery of your vote or your voice. Put it where it could be used. 100,000 of us could make a difference in this country. Yeah? Thank you all for joining me. Looking out to see each and every one of you and the 100 people that you bring on October 29th at Bamboo number 1. Also, and let me remind you, if you're in a position that you could help us financially, PayPal, any of the ways, Western Union, or you could just reach out to Felicia Holder at 769-4590. We need your help. Yeah? Until tomorrow, stay safe. Trinidad and Tobago.